the challenge that you were invited to was a daily routine challenge. Now, I called it a mini daily routine challenge. For some of you, it may not feel mini. And for others, it may feel like, all right, this is just plenty. This is enough. And for others, you get that there really is a lot more to our daily routines than this, but you need to take this daily routine that I have that we've been going through. This is day 3, and make it your own. All right. There's no routine that's too small if you're doing nothing right now. And don't be afraid about making it too big. The only thing about doing it where you feel like maybe it might be too big is that when you start practicing it, if it isn't working so well, then take stuff off. Okay. Take stuff off. Here, I'm going to get out of the screen share for a second, just so that I could talk to you face to face. Okay. Remember that what we're doing now is we're practicing. If you have a daily routine, but you need to just revamp it, maybe because it's the holidays during this recording, maybe because something has changed in your life, or maybe just because you really want to refresh it, this is normal. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're just getting started and you have no routine at all, don't add things to the routine like, say, exercise, if you're not exercising now. Don't add meditation or Bible reading or something like that to your daily routine. You want to do that stuff, go right ahead. I'm not saying don't do it, but don't add it to your daily routine, because it just sets you up for failure. And we don't want to do that to ourselves. If we aren't doing the basics, we don't want to add anything. The adding of things comes later, once we get the basics down. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to look at the list. All right. So here we go. Share screen. Okay. So this is the list that I have, and it's on my blog. If you go to thetidytutor.com, click on blog, you'll see this is there for you to copy if you want to. And now you want to arrange it yourself, okay? You want this to be on paper, handwritten out, all right? And you want it up in a place where you can see it. All of this is in our day 1, right? You want it up where you can see it. Put it on your refrigerator, tape it to a cabinet door, anything like that where you can see it. It should be that's really easily accessed, like your kitchen. So we have the morning routine, up on time. You were to pick a time. What time were you going to get up? You have that time. How's it working? Do you need to adjust it? Adjust it. Make bed, drink water, clothes in dryer. Now, we talked about laundry yesterday on day 2. So if you don't know the deal with laundry, then go to day 2 and check it out. Okay. Clothes in dryer, shower, dress, hair. We talked about this as well. We talked about the fact that if you don't shower regularly every single day, you don't have to. If you shower in the evening, you want to put it in the evening, but you do want to get ready first thing every morning. So shower, dress, hair, face could be just wash up, get dressed, hair and face. Okay. Face meaning if you put makeup on, put makeup on. If you don't, just put moisturizer on. It's all good. Okay. Pajamas away. We also talked about not having crappy throw on clothes to wear to sleep. Get something good for yourself. You don't have to have anything that's super expensive or anything like that. Just something that makes you feel good. And you don't need a ton of pajamas either. If you have a whole bunch of pajamas, you might want to downsize them, right? One of our biggest problems is that we have too much stuff. So if you've got a lot of clutter and it's difficult for you to keep the house clean, it's because you have too much stuff. Having too much stuff is like living in a jack-in-the-box. Everything seems quite all right when you get the place cleaned up, but you need to look for one scissor, one roll of tape, or that strapless bra that you haven't worn in forever, and it gets like a jack, and everything that is behind closed doors comes piling out. And then I know you've been there, right? So Pajamas away, meaning you wore pajamas. Get rid of the throw-on clothes. No more throw-on clothes. Just get rid of them. If you won't wear it out in front of people, don't wear it at home, even if you're alone, even if you live alone. Okay. So we have that. And then now coffee, if you make coffee in the morning or you make tea in the morning, most people do, then if you do that, then while the coffee's coming down, or while the tea is being boiled, you want to put away the dishes and today we're going to concentrate on dishes. So one of the things we're going to do is we do in our daily routine is we make sure that we go to bed with no dishes in the sink. We make sure that we do our dishes from dinner, right? And anything else that we've used. Now, yesterday we talked about what happens if you have so many dishes to do and you're like, I can't do that. This is what we did. We said that we were going to just do what we used. Don't care about everything else. You use a cup, you use a glass, you use a spoon, you use a fork. That's all you're going to do. You're going to start practicing not letting any mess having any more babies, so nothing multiplies all around you. And also we're going to start building new habits so that there becomes a standard in life, a new way of doing things. And this doesn't happen automatically, just like being in a mess didn't happen automatically. It's a process that happens just like every habit that you've ever formed. Driving a car, that didn't happen in a bam. You had to practice over and over and over again. And now you can get in the car and just drive away without even thinking. The reason for that is because it's become a habit. So you can make this become a habit just like you're getting in the car and driving away is, or walking up and down the stairs. That isn't something that automatically is known to us, walking up and down the stairs. We actually have to learn how. How do we do this? How do we maneuver this? You realize that each time you go to walk down another step, it's almost like you're going to fall, but you don't fall. Why is that? Because we know what to do with our feet, because we've practiced. Now, maybe you were a baby when you practiced, but still you practice. And now it's easy and now it's a habit. And this is that simple. Okay. So today we're going to talk about dishes. If you do have a whole bunch of dishes, what to do about that, and also about dinner time dishes. We're going to talk about that today, but let's just go on with our list we have here. Make and eat breakfast. Okay. If you don't make or eat breakfast, don't put it on there. If this is too much for you, don't do it. If you only want to do 4, if you just want to do these 4 things, which is really kind of 5 things, up on time, and you get ready first thing, hair, shower, dress, hair and face. So that's why it's like 5 things, because hair and face I just put together. All right. If that's all you're going to do, that's okay. All right. Wait until you see just that one little something that you're practicing daily, what a difference it makes. Then you add another thing. Okay. If you are having breakfast, drinking water, doing laundry, like I'm saying not all in one day or not all at one time, not in a routine, but you're doing these things, then you have to realize you're doing all of these things anyway. So it might look like, oh my gosh, that's so much, but you're doing them anyway. It's just that now you're doing them predictably. Put dishes away, make and eat breakfast, clean up your breakfast. Remember what I said? If there's a big mess there, you don't care about the big mess, just what you just did. Only what you just did. Take care of what you do now. Everything else, leave alone. Get clothes in dryer, because part of the evening routine is you get the clothes in the washer. Get clothes in dryer. Now, you always set a timer. Okay, I don't have it written right here, but make sure you set a timer when you put the clothes in the dryer, so you remember to get them out. And then you take them out, you fold them, and you put them away. We talked about what to do. Yesterday, we talked about the laundry. So go back and go to that. There's a lot to our daily routine. And we cover all of this in Untitled Chapter University in little easily digestible blocks of video. Because like, if it was easy, we'd be doing it, right? It really isn't easy. There's a lot to it. And we're going to talk a little bit today about why some people just seem to get it and other people struggle with it, which is most likely who you are. It's who I was for many years. Okay, so evening routine, check calendar. Now remember, you don't have to have a calendar. If you don't yet, you want to have a calendar so that you are in charge of your life and you know what is going on and when. Makes it very easy to say no to people when you have a calendar. If somebody says, can you do this? Can you do that? You can say, let me check my calendar. As soon as I see what's going on, then I will be able to answer you. See, now we usually just say, oh, I think so. Yeah, sure, I could do that. And that's how we get double booked, right? So if you don't have a calendar, just think about tomorrow. What do you have to do tomorrow? Make a list of to-dos. We talked about this as well. What that is that you're just making a list of the things that need to be done for that specific thing that you needed to do today that you thought about yesterday, okay? Put things by the door. We've talked about this. Make dinner, eat dinner. We're going to talk about this today. Clean up dinner, prepare for bed, which is a category. Brush your teeth, clothes away or in the hamper, wash a load of clothes, dinner dishes done, bed on time. Okay, so we talked about laundry, and now we talked about bed on time. We talked about wake up on time. Today we're going to talk about the dishes. And along with the dishes is dinner time. I want you to look at here in the evening routine. It has dishes, dinner, dishes done, and then bed on time. I want us to switch this now. I want us to change this to right after make dinner, eat, dinner, dishes done. Okay. And then before bed, make sure there's no dishes in the sink. All right, all the dishes are done. So if between dinner time and the time you went to bed, you had a cup of tea, you had a bowl of ice cream, you had a bowl of cereal or whatever, that those dishes will be done so that you get in the habit of making sure that all of the dishes are done. So we're going to move these in a different order today. And the reason that I didn't do that originally was because that just might have been way too difficult based on how things are going in your life, like just to think about that. Plus there's a lot to it, believe it or not. So I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to talk to you about first getting the dishes done. All right. Let's say you have a whole lot of dishes right now. Don't overthink it. Okay. Now, if you have a dishwasher, I've heard it said by some people, just run it 3 times. Just put the dishes in and run it 3 times. That doesn't always work because if things are really, really stuck on, they can still be really, really stuck on even after the 3rd time. Wait 1 second, please. Thanks. Okay. So you could run it 1 time and then before it goes through the drying mode, do something with them. But personally, what I like to do is put them in a sink, run a sink of hot water halfway, put some soap in it, run the water on, make some sudsy water in there, get the dishes that you have on the counter, on the table, wherever they are, put them in there. If you have more than 1 load of dishes to put, then you'll do it more than once. It takes way less time than you think it does. If anybody here wants to run the dishwasher 3 times and then report back how that worked, if you have a lot of dishes and you want to run it a couple of times, 3 times, 2 times, however long it takes, let me know how that works, because I have read that and people commented how great they thought it was. But I know I've been at people's houses helping them clean up and stuff, and running the dishwasher 1 time didn't do it. And I can't see how that stuff that's stuck on the 1st time is going to get off the 2nd or the 3rd time. I could be wrong, but I'd like to know. All right, here's what we're doing. Fill the sink halfway through. Put sudsy water in it. Dawn is really, really good. Dawn is great for grease. My ex-husband used to be in construction and they use Dawn to clean the diesel trucks, the trucks with the really, really caked on grease. It really does work great. So you might want to get some Dawn. Otherwise, please don't be like, oh, I can't do it until I get Dawn. You know, we perfect ourselves into, you know, perpetual failure. There is no such thing as perfection. So don't care. Okay. Now put the dishes in there. Wait about 5 or 10 minutes, set a timer because you want the water to still be warm. Make this a mission. Your mission is to get the dishes done. That's your mission. If you put it in and then you haphazardly go away and then you come back to it, you're going to feel like, oh my goodness. Make this a mission. Make it a project. I love making myself a project. Have you ever done that? A lot of times women will do that after a breakup, you know, or I don't know, just some sort of something in life that has happened that's been like not so great. They'll suddenly just like kind of pull themselves up and say, you know what? I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to, whatever it is, I'm going to start that business. I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to better myself in one way or the other. You know, we love projects, and making ourselves a project is wonderful. So do the dishes that way. Like it's part of your project. You are your project. Your home is your project. This is what you're doing. So get those dishes in the sink, set a timer for about 10 minutes, go back there, wash those dishes. If you have a dishwasher, then all you need to do is get those dishes, you know, cleared off, because if they've been sitting a long time, they're going to be cakey and stuck on. So just do that, stick them in the dishwasher, start the dishwasher, do another load, have it going where you maybe have one dishwasher load going and one drain going, you know, where you've washed them, put them in the drain, dishwasher's going, put another load in there. You might have to drain the sink and start all over again with hot sudsy water, put more dishes in there and get them done. Now, it doesn't take as long as you think it does. Believe me, it doesn't, okay? Put on a podcast. Go on my YouTube channel and find something. If you're part of my insiders group, then go into the coffee talk and find something in there that you might want to listen to, okay? Put on happy music. Music activates both sides of the brain. Some people really, really like to get on the phone and chat while they're doing stuff in the house. And then by the time they're done, they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I'm done already. I'm done with everything that I started, because our mind isn't focusing on what you're doing. You're just having a conversation. And then before you know it, you're done. So set yourself up so that you'll start and finish. And in the meantime, it's fun. Okay. You could use the group to post in. You could use the group and say, you know, I could put up a PWYC, post while you can, post in there. And then you right underneath it, you could say, okay, I'm doing my dishes, or I'm getting my laundry done. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's like a healthy distraction. Right-brained people, we like distraction. Right-brained people are more creative, more spontaneous. They are not as administrative as the left-brain people are very detail-minded. Right-brain people are more conceptual. So we like fun. And if it's not fun, we don't want to do it. And we do get distracted quite often. They like to label us as a attention deficit disorder. I like to say that it's not a disorder at all. It's a gift. But if you want to go there, then, you know, that's what happens. One part of that gift is there's a little bit of a curse to it where we will get distracted. And so figure out, oh, this is how I tick. I get distracted. Well, then with that, what do you want to do? You want to get yourself a healthy distraction. If it's music playing that makes you really happy, if it's listening to a podcast or a book while you get this done, or even a movie, you could do this too. You could put on a movie. Right now, in the time of this live that we're doing, it happens to be the holidays. And so if you put on a holiday movie or something that just makes you happy, but it doesn't have to be, of course, it could be any movie, but make sure if you do that it's a movie like the back of your hand. Don't put on, you know, Dr. Oz or Judge Judy or any kind of talk show. Don't put on a TV show you haven't seen before, or a Netflix series that you've been binge watching that you haven't seen, because what will happen is you will become a statue in front of that TV. You'll put it on thinking, oh, this is good, I'll just do this while I listen. And then you'll hear something and it'll pull you in, and you'll stand there like a zombie until you don't realize how long you've been there. Meantime, so much time has passed, the water got cold, and you're like, oh my gosh. So don't do that. You have to put on something that you know, like the back of your hand. Like if you've watched I Love Lucy videos a billion times, or Seinfeld TV show, or Seinfeld TV show a billion times, or say West Side Story, or Miracle on 34th Street, any of the movies, It's a Wonderful Life. Like I could close my eyes and see It's a Wonderful Life from the beginning to end. I can see Zuzu's petals. I can see the sky with the prayers going out. Joseph, like I see it all in my mind. That is what you want to put on. These are healthy distractions. A little piece of endorphin that goes off that makes you happy happens when you report in, like reporting in, saying, I put in a post while you can. And during this week, while you're doing this, you can go in there and report, I just did my dishes. What happens there is you get this little like chemical zap that is a happiness zap. And it encourages us to want to do more, to feel good about right now. Really, that's all we all want to do, is just feel good. So use that. All right. So that was that. I just wanted to make sure I said that about the movie or the TV, that if you do put it on, it's got to be something that you know like the back of your hand. Otherwise, you'll be frozen there. Okay. So that's the dishes. The other thing about the dishes that I want to talk about in the routine that we have is dinner dishes. Now, before we had it where you went to, right before go to bed was dishes done. Now I want to have it that right after dinner is you're going to put clean up dinner. Now, there are so many organizationally challenged people that think it's okay to get up and walk away from dinner. I'll do it later. And there is a huge population of people that would never, ever, ever, and I mean never, consider getting up and walking away after dinner. It's become a habit. It's become a standard. This is what I want you to do. I want you to make this a new standard, that you will never, ever, ever make yourself some food and walk away from it. All right. This is going to be something that is as natural as, I'm going to say it, wiping your butt when you're done. Right. It's just something that you would never not do. You would never not do it. You go to the bathroom, you wipe your butt. You get up, you walk away. That's it. Right. That's what happens. Get up. Okay. Now, I want this to be the same thing. And I want you to feel like, just get a feeling on the inside of you that this is who you are. Remember when I talked about identity, right? Our identity could change at any time. Have you ever heard somebody who used to smoke say, I'm a non-smoker? Were they a smoker at one time? Their identity was smoker, but they don't smoke anymore. Did their identity change in that regard? Yes. You ever hear people say, I'm an empty nester? Were they always an empty nester? And does a whole different set of circumstances surround that human being now? A whole different identity is born based on one happening. So this one happening is you making a clear decision that your standard from now on is that you don't walk away from the dinner dishes when they're done. It's a regular thing. If you eat with other people, they join in. You talk to them. You say, listen, from now on, you might know that I've been doing something here. Either you joined TTU and they know you joined a course. I talk about this in the course. I tell people, don't tell people right away. You don't want to hear the naysayers. Oh, sure, Mardine, there you go again, starting something new. You don't need to hear that. Plus, say you have a bad day. Do you really want to hear, oh, how's your course coming? You're allowed to have a bad day. Practice means you're going to hit sour notes sometimes, right? But you don't need to set yourself up to have to hear that crap in your head. But there will come a time when you will mention it and you will say, listen, I've been doing something. You know that we've been living in a mess and we don't want to live in a mess. This is for people who live with people, obviously. And so from now on, after dinner, we all take care of our own dish. So this is the best way to handle it, rather than to make everybody, chip in and don't everybody gets up from dinner and then, everybody cleans off the table. Everybody does the dishes. Everybody cleans the counter. That could work. But if you're just getting started, and then also if people are getting up and leaving at different times, I take forever to eat. I sit there forever. I don't expect them to sit there as long as I'm sitting there. So this is a good way to make it really work. Everybody is in charge of their own place setting. And if they have a guest, they're in charge of their guest. So everybody takes care of that. In the beginning, you're going to have to pick up the slack of other things, but we'll get to that later. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this is not something that happens in a bada boom kind of thing, but this is going to make a very big positive difference in your life, however it goes. Okay. So that's what I want you to do. All right. New standard. You do not leave the dinner dishes or the area of where you were eating, the pots, the pans, the table, the dishes, anything. You don't leave that. You get done eating, you clean up, you're done. All right. Sometimes what I like to do, and this is something that I wasn't going to talk about, but I will. I like to pretend I'm somebody else. When there is a situation that I'm in that I feel way too overwhelmed in, or I'm noticing that there's way too much white noise around me, meaning that I've been stepping over the same things over and over again. Like here in New Jersey, we take air conditioners out of the window, most of it, because I'm sure it's in a lot of places in the United States and around the world, but there's different places in the United States that are newer than others. New Jersey is a pretty old area. So the houses are very old, and they weren't built with central air because a lot of houses didn't even have electric when they were built. So the house I'm in right now is one of them. And so we have air conditioners that we put in the window, we plug in, then we take them out. And so we take them out, and then what happens? They go down on the floor, and it could be days that air conditioner stays on the floor. Now, an organizationally gifted person, that doesn't happen. It goes, immediately, it's the plan. But something like that can come out of the, say you have a son, they came over, they took it, they put it down. I got to go, Ma, I'll take care of it later. We could have that there for a long time. So that's what I mean by the white noise around us, right? If we're doing some sort of a renovation or something, and we're pulling out a kitchen or whatever, and we have it out on the deck, or, something like that. It could be, now this was my experience, that's why I'm saying that. It could be like a week that is there because there's so much going on. And us right brain people, we are very, one of our gifts is that we're so tolerant of so many things. We're able to not see some things, which is very necessary. The people who are left-brained, they really do see everything, and they're able to break it all down. And that's why some things really overwhelm them, and they're not able to, fly by the seat of their pants, but we can. So it really is a gift, but at the same time, it is a little bit of a curse because we can just not notice things for a little bit too long. So my point to all of that is, I'll pretend that I'm my sister. You have to know that there's somebody in your life who is so organizationally gifted, and they are the go-to. And I have a few of them that I use. My sister-in-law Lori is one of them. My sister Maria is one of them. My sister-in-law Dorothy is one of them. I have a friend Christine. And the reason that I have them individually different is because they all have their little take on things. My sister Maria, she does it. She does it all alone. She is a bulldozer. She's just like, what has to be done? And I'm going to do it. Bam, she does it. Christine, and Dorothy, they're different in a way, but one way is that they're the same, is that they're delegators. Really easy for them to say, like, all right, you do this and you do that. So it all depends on who I need to be. Like Lori, she's somebody that I've seen because I've spent like weeks with her, like a week with her, because she lives in Florida. So I'd be there and visit. And I've seen her from the time she woke up in the morning and what it's like for her. Her feet hit the floor running. And so you want to do this. Think of that person that you need to be when you're done eating dinner, and then put that on like you're playing a part in a play. All right. You just got the part in a Broadway show, and you are playing Dorothy. You are playing Lori. You are playing Maria. You are playing Christine. You fill in the blank of who that person is, that you can pretend you're playing that part of her. And this is what you're doing. And you will be so surprised at how you go from one feeling of, oh my God, do I really have to do this? I don't want to do this, to a whole other level of ability just because of that. And also you'll see things differently. Like I had to pretend I was Maria because I just knew that there was nobody for me to delegate to. It was just me that was there. And I knew that there wouldn't be 1 second that she would stand for the deck being the way it was. We were pulling out a kitchen. It was really, really old. It was pretty gross and disgusting. And we pulled out an old kitchen. It went on the deck and we put it in a new kitchen. Well, that old kitchen was hanging out on that deck for almost a week. It was probably about 4 or 5 days, right? It was there and I'm doing the dishes and looking out the window, and I see, that disgusting sink thing that was there and the whatever else was out there. And I'm like, what am I doing? Because of that, ability that we have to block things off when we need to. Well, I didn't want to block it off anymore. And I realized what was happening. So I put on Maria. I said, okay, I'm going to be Maria right now. What would Maria do? And she's a mover. She is a mover. She gets stuff done. And I pretended I was her. I'm playing Maria in a show, and here I am. And suddenly I knew what to do that I felt like I couldn't do before, and I couldn't even see. Now I could even see things I didn't even notice before. So it is a real gift, but like I said, it is a real curse as well. Now we were going to go into something else. Which was going to be on why it's really important to look at a routine and cross it off and see what you're doing, why we cannot do this in concept, why it has to be seen and checked off. But we'll do that tomorrow. We'll use that for tomorrow, since we went on for so long today. I'm going to look at the comments and see what you guys have to say. If you have any comments, I'm going to look in Zoom first. Thanks for being with me. All right. Angie said, I love the illustration about identity. I'm now an empty nester. Now I'm a deliberate person. Good for you. Yes. We feel like our identity is a life sentence. We're not an animal. We're not a scorpion. We're not a leopard. We're not a dog. We're not a cat. We're a person. Leopards are leopards are leopards. Scorpions are scorpions are scorpions. We can change. They can't change. They are what they are. They're programmed. That's what this beautiful frontal lobe is for. All right. Alberta said, fantastic. No more living statue. That is so helpful. Amen. Yes. Trish said, great list. Wonderful video. Thank you, Kathy. I may share this with my daughter. Hope it's received well. Oh, I hope so too, Trish. Pat said, I have heard of women who put on superwoman costumes or crowns when they clean to put themselves in a different mindset. I have heard that too. And whatever floats your boat. If that is something that will motivate you to get that done, then go ahead. Just don't complicate things, okay? You know you. And sometimes if we have this mindset of something like, I know, I'm going to do that. I think that's going to really help me. Then sometimes we'll like put off doing what we're going to do until we get the cape or until we get the crown, right? So that personally, for me, wouldn't work for me. It would just be too complicated for me. But I can absolutely see how that kind of thing could be the ticket to somebody else. So that was a great suggestion. Thank you for saying that. Okay. All right. So that's that for this. Thanks a lot for being with me. Remember, if you want one-on-one help from me, we can talk about how we could do that. All right. How it works and all of that. Tidy Tutor University, it will be brand new starting January 1st, a brand new Tidy Tutor University. That doesn't mean that you don't want to sign up now. You'll have the brand new Tidy Tutor University. Everyone will be transferred over to the new one. Also, there's 4 months free of Tidy Tutor Insiders. That's monthly support you get from me. That is not going to be around for long. And I don't think I'm going to do that for January 1st. I don't believe that will happen. So if you've been thinking about it, take advantage of that. It's $29 a month, which would mean it's like what, $120 value, but I don't want to say it's $120 value, because honestly, the value you get in Insiders is priceless, but it is the dollar amount that I put on it. And I did that so that it could be affordable to just about anybody. It's almost free. If you could just like maybe buy cheaper ice cream that week, or just don't buy 2 bottles of wine, or decide to not go out to breakfast twice, it's paid for. And the value it gives you is immeasurable. So you might want to join now so that you could take advantage of that. Any information that you want to have, email me. And we'll get together on my website. There's a link where you could set an appointment, and we'll get together and we'll chat. Okay. And I'll answer any questions you want. So I'm going to go now. Thanks a lot for being with me. I have to find the Zoom link so I could take off. Please connect and let me know how you're doing. Okay. All right. Bye.